stuff.
Right.
Do they have a transfer station?
Yeah, they have a transfer station, and they actually hired, there's a company out of Saxon's River who actually treats them very, very well, and that's, so I'm trying to get a hold of them, see if they help us out.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to look at it in terms of, I mean, we've got facilities here, and you know, where do you draw the line with what you're paying to maintain those facilities? Langdon's paying us for using our facility, but how much does it cost us to have Langdon use it? I don't think anybody's got the answer to that one.
We ran the numbers on it a while ago, we're doing pretty decent.
The other thing is we could, you know, do a waste management thing.
Yeah.
Just wash our hands of the whole thing.
And apparently, from what Linda said, she hasn't been able to get a quote back from them. Waste Management, Casella, you know, I'm sure there are other companies as well, so.
And according to
Well-
David, last night, he said that the reason we have the transfer station is because waste management got very expensive.
Right.
Okay, but
But
what
that
about
was-
Casella,
that-
what about whatever else?
So we're doing the
Other company?
brainstorming here, which we really should have
But, you know,
somebody
The other thing is,
administration doing.
Right.
waste management is expensive, but that was before we broke out stuff like fuel and mileage and, you know, were they really calculating everything when they said waste
I'm
management
just, you know,
is expensive?
Well, I think it should be an exercise every 4 or 5 years anyways, to
Yeah.
revisit
Yes.
all the numbers, and maybe we are doing the cheapest way. I mean, who knows? Until you really run the numbers, you just can't put your blinders on and say this is the best way to do it.
But if we can't get rid of it, is it cheap?
But there's other ways
Well,
around.
we take our stuff to Walpole.
The pay as you go is,
You can pay as you go, you can say, okay, fine, use all the garbage and we'll take care of the recyclables. I mean, we can just hire a truck in just to take the stuff up, and instead of having waste management come do the whole thing. We got 2 dumpsters, they're compactors, you take them right off, set them aside and say, hey, we got one ready for you, come by, pick it up and haul it away. Pay them $200.
does anybody, it's gonna be a lot of work. Does anybody feel like putting in all that?
You wanna dump?
Cause I don't.
Well, that's another thing, whether or not it should be this committee, or whether or not it should be a spin-off, the way EMSG was. And-
Or a town administrator.
Yeah,
Well, that's what we gotta see what's going on with all that stuff.
Well, I think with that question, it's more, right, it's more than us, it would be somebody from us, but it needs to be
A committee
DPW,
for,
right.
exactly.
we do it ourselves.
I know.
Used to write it all down. Type it up in media. But,
All right, so food for thought. We don't need to finish this tonight, but I mean, obviously the transfer station is something of a priority. The question is who's gonna handle it and how do we do it? So, given this, is there any feel of, you know, are we going to work on anything over the summer? Are we not gonna work on it, well, spring?
Could we pause until whoever the new people are?
Absolutely.
That's what I was.
Like, you know,
thinking,
what do
too.
they say, diary that until X date? You know, the new people would always have that time.
I don't know this.
Oh, well,
Let's
sorry.
figure next week's election,
Okay.
the following week they're gonna get their feet wet. So you're looking at probably 3 weeks before they can really.
All right, so
Cut the
3
service.
weeks.
23rd. Which would be the 4th. And we talked about doing the 2nd and 4th.
Does that mean we get 3 weeks off? Oh, no, wait a minute, no, we have to meet after voting,
Why?
as you said last week.
Really don't need to.
I would think we need to. Yeah. I'm
Just to go back.
But,
The results of the voting won't change if we wait an extra week.
and I don't think, we do have to meet after voting, but I don't think next Wednesday is anything we have to meet after
Okay.
the selectmen. For a whole lot of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the CIP plan, I was gonna number around with that anyway, it's just I'd like to come up with a plan that we actually could live with.
Well, I think we need to come up with a proposal too, that the way it's being handled by the town isn't the way is it
But if we
accomplishing
can
anything?
figure out how to show them that it all, that a bunch of it links together.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
yeah,
this
because-
can't do, you know, kinda like one of these, but with that.
Right.
Like, this needs doing, but.
It's really a fund balance. I mean, I'm not sure if the auditors are all done, but we should be able to calculate out, once the auditors are done, what's left over from this year. Start calculating out what's gonna be available for next year, and that's how you start building your CIP plan off of that.
As I recall, the audit wasn't done until May or something like that.
June, I think,
Or
even.
June even.
Yeah.
Because that's when the hard figures.
That's when you know what
The
happened.
hard figures.
Otherwise, it's speculation.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. You start building that out, and you can figure out what you can afford and what you can't.
That's right.
So is the feeling that we don't need to be next week then?
That's my feeling.
Yeah.
So quick, now, that's it. That works for me, if we don't meet till the 23rd. I think that works for me. So my
Okay.
calendar will be right on.
Well, I guess actually we should reorganize after town.
Well, technically, I'm
Yeah, technically, we need to.
I'm all done.
Yeah, me too, but we can't leave yet. We don't have any alternates. There's not enough of us.
The moderator's on tap.
Joel did say last night on his way out the door, I guess I need a volunteer there, and I'm like, hey, join the cool kids. I think we should probably give him a couple weeks off.
Yeah. He's got a lot of knowledge in his head, though.
He does, he'd be great.
Alright, so, the 23rd?
23rd.
So what I jotted down was that, what we'll focus on the next time will be in terms of, how these things link together, what we wanna focus on, and then sometime in April, we will, need to meet with the select board for a meet and greet and where we're at and where we're going and that kind of stuff.
Are we going to them or are they coming to us?
I will contact them and we'll find out.
Okay.
So the 23rd will be at 6:30?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's only the first Wednesday that there's a meeting before.
We had a good chat.
What is it?
You were here early.
Why?
Because we didn't need the.
Well, was there a, what do you call it, committee?
They were done.
Really? Yeah, we're sitting outside thinking.
We're sitting, yeah, we-
Oh, really?
yeah, we're out
I
there.
finally popped in when I realized it was 7.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all
Oh,
right.
yeah, we were finished at 6:30.
Yeah.
It was a quick night,
That's good.
but it's not over.
Are there any, so as of March, we will go to at least every other week, if not further spread out? Or as of March 20, we'll revisit that March 23rd, I guess, so,
Yeah.
but then we should get a feel for what the select board is looking at.
I think we should probably count on every other week, and if
Well,
things are
every
coming-
second and fourth.
second and fourth, okay. And if things are going really well, maybe we can do it once a month, and if they're not going so great, maybe we wanna add a few more, but I think,
Yeah, because basically if the select board says, no, you're not gonna work on these, or we don't think they're necessary, then we don't really need to meet.
That's
Other
right.
than maybe once a month to be following up on the printouts to see
They
where
could
things
solve
are
the
at.
whole committee.
That could happen too.
No, they can't.
No, they can't.
The town asked them.
Only for like 1 year.
They can dissolve the whole committee.
Yep.
we could all just
But as
resign, let
taxpayers,
them form a
we
new
can-
committee.
They can, yeah, just like I've always worked on the CIP plan and done
We-
stuff on my own.
Sam has a lovely,
Yeah. And I understand nice cookies or something.
yeah, say cookie.
All right, is there any other new business? Any comments from visitors?
Visitor, comments?
He shook his head. Anything else?
Can we go home now?
Absolutely.
Thanks, Carol.
Thanks, Cal. When are you taking back over?
I don't know. My term is up next week.